Welcome to Talk Travel with Heather Tate, North Mississippi's podcast for savvy travelers. Talk Travel with Heather Tate is a weekly podcast that airs every Monday on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi, and is then released as a podcast. Travel advisor and travel enthusiast Heather Tate of Whimsical Destinations gives listeners expert travel tips curated through the years of personal and professional experience. By clicking subscribe, you'll have a new travel tip to add to your collection delivered to your podcast library every Monday. Talk Travel with Heather Tate is brought to you by Sun Bear Studio. Sun Bear Studio is a boutique recording studio in the heart of Ripley, Mississippi. When you record with us at Sun Bear Studio, we can mix, master, register, and publish your music, your podcast, or your family story. Email us when you're ready at sunbear@jc.media.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi travelers. This is Heather with Talk Travel with Heather Tate, and I'm so excited to share my adventures and tried and true tips with you. Whether you are also a seasoned traveler, a hopeful traveler, or currently an armchair traveler, meaning you're going to follow along with us from home for now. This is our 125th episode of Talk Travel with Heather Tate, and this week we're going to talk all about Christmas trip reveals. If you didn't catch last week's episode on Christmas in Coleman, I really encourage you to go back and listen to it, especially if you're trying to find something to do this week leading up to the week before Christmas and you want to really get into the Christmas spirit. That is a great way to do it. So what if you already have a big trip planned? A lot of my guests and myself, this is something that is really important in our family. We give big trips for birthdays and Christmas. That is really the gift of experiences. That's what we really do in our household. But a lot of my guests like to give trips or other experiences on Christmas. And for all or at least part of their family's gifts. So that's a wonderful thing to do. And a lot of you probably have the same plans, or you're thinking, okay, well, maybe not this year, but it's something I want to plan for next year. So this is not too soon to be thinking about next year. But if you already have a trip planned, but you don't know how you're going to tell your family, then I'm going to give you some ideas for Christmas, how you can do a Christmas reveal. Now, some of you may think, okay, we already have a big trip planned. We haven't told our family yet. We haven't told the kids. Or maybe you want to do a couples trip and surprise, your spouse with a trip at Christmas. But you want to do it next year. Maybe you haven't even thought about making it a Christmas reveal. I say, if you already have a trip planned and you're wanting to tell them anyways, you don't want to wait till the last minute to tell them at Christmas. It makes a really fun way to let your family know that you're going on a trip next year. Now, I know some people think, well, then I will have to, hear my kids' excitement for months if we're not going right away. And I personally think that's part of the fun. And I think then that your family gets to be a part of the planning process, the getting ready. That's where a lot of the excitement comes from. One reason I love travel is that the joy from travel is not just the week or the days that you're gone. The excitement of the pre-planning for the trip is part of the fun. And when you get back, the reminiscing afterwards is also part of the fun. So it can really go from beginning to end. Maybe you're giving a Christmas trip, but it's going to be for next year. Then you can give it at Christmas. So what can you do besides, just saying, surprise, we're going on a trip? What if you want to be a little more creative? Now, these are some things that I have personally done, or I have had clients who have done them and they've recommended these. And I've seen them over the years because I love looking at Facebook Christmas Day or the day after and seeing everyone open presents, but I love a trip reveal. I love the excitement. I love seeing the videos. So those are some tips. Take pictures, even if they're just for your own family's memories. Take the pictures if you're going to surprise your family. Also, take a video. Now, not everybody is going to have a family that is, theatrical and over the top and super excited, but it's still fun. Like I can tell you, giving gifts to my husband, I don't get a lot of excitement from him just because he's more mid-range in levels of emotion, whereas I am a hill and valley. I go up and down a lot more, so I'm going to show that excitement. And sometimes I expect that level of excitement, and when I don't get it, I think, oh, well, maybe he's not really happy about it. But keep that in mind. Know who you're giving the gift to, and if they don't seem super excited, that doesn't mean they're not. everybody shows their level of excitement in different ways. So I like to make a big production of things, and sometimes my boys are more like me, and sometimes they're more like Logan. You just don't really know the level of excitement that you're going to get. But so what are some ways that you can have fun if you like to make a big idea or a big deal of a trip reveal? Okay, the most common way is to simply have a present or a collection of presents related to the trip. Because some of you are thinking, well, I want to give a trip for a Christmas present, but then there's nothing to unwrap under the tree. And that's one of the worries that people come to me with, like, well, what are my kids going to open if we're given a big trip but they have nothing to open? Well, this is easy. Make it themed for the trip. Now, if you want it to be a surprise, make sure that you're ordering the gifts that they're opening, like have them in order of how you want them to open them. But you could do like new luggage, passport holders, related clothing. This would be an easy one to start out. Like they might not even know, they think they're just getting winter wear. And it turns out that it's ski clothes or new shoes, but they're going to go on a trip that they need some new shoes, new swimwear, hats, themed books. I love doing this. If we're going somewhere, maybe even the next year, and there's, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, I try to find books, games, activities, puzzles. Sometimes, puzzles are a great thing. Like say you're going on a really big trip. You're going anywhere in Europe, national parks, Disney, Universal, New York, big cities. There's going to be, maybe you're going to the beach, right? Maybe you're going to the mountains. There's going to be a puzzle that will be similar. Maybe it's a puzzle and it's an airplane or a train. It's how you're getting there, the transportation there. Themed puzzles are a great idea. They can be one that's, you just buy from a store, you order, or it can be one that you custom make to surprise your family. And they put the puzzle together, and then it actually has a message like, surprise, we're going to Disney. Surprise, we're taking a cruise. And I've had several families do this, and you can make them on Shutterfly or other places where you can create your own photo gifts. Puzzles are a great idea for that, and it's really fun. I wouldn't suggest doing like a 500 or 1,000 piece puzzle in that case. Like keep it like maybe 100 pieces or less if you're wanting them to do it right then. And your family can put it together, and as they're putting the puzzle together, they might not even realize that it's going to announce they're going on a trip. That's a fun thing to do. One Christmas, when London was only 3 years old, he was 3.5, we decided we were going to surprise him with a trip to Disney that next month. And so he opened up a giant box, and a Mickey balloon floated out, and we had some Disney themed presents for the trip, including like activities for the long car ride. That is definitely something else you could do. So think about this. Other things that go with long car rides. If you're going to do a road trip, make it themed, whether it's, new headphones, AirPods, a DVD set, movies, maybe it's like handheld game devices, or maybe it's travel games that are non-electronic. Maybe it's books. So you think about it, like maybe their favorite book just came out, and that'd be a perfect thing. Not only are you getting them a book, but then it's something they can do on the ride, like something they can have in the car or on the plane. So that makes a really good thing to have, because they're gifts that you would want to give them anyways, but you're theming it towards the trip that you're surprising them with. And even if you decide not to tell them on Christmas where they're going, or that there even is a trip planned, you can still do some of these things for that. So if you're like, well, I don't want to tell them quite yet, that's okay. You can still give gifts at Christmas that are related to that upcoming trip. Matching T-shirts. This is a very popular one that a lot of my families love to do. All the kids will open up like a little bundle, and it may be new pajamas that are Disney or Harry Potter themed, or matching T-shirts that announce where they're going on a trip. If you're going to Disney or Universal, T-shirts are a very common thing to do for families, for a family trip. So other ideas, you can do a scavenger hunt. This is really fun, and I've had a lot of guests who do this, that each clue gets them a little bit closer to where they're going. So like it can be like a treasure map, and at the end, when they get to their treasure chest, it is the reveal of where they're going on their trip. Another fun one is a scratch and reveal card. These are something you can easily order, and they can say the destination of where they're going, or it can be like, surprise, you're going on a Christmas trip, and then you just announce where they're going. Similar to the scavenger hunt, you can have clues wrapped up. So you can have them in the stockings. That will be a really fun stocking stuffer. So like if you're going somewhere, like if you're going to Disney, then you can have little Disney figurines in the stocking, or you can have something that's related to the trip. Like maybe you're going to have like a little mini purse like that's going to be, like where, that's good for travel. Or maybe you're going to have something, that's waterproof. Or, I love getting new travel makeup bags. I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite things to get. I love little bags of all kinds. So those kind of things would go really well in a stocking too, make great stocking stuffers. But then you can have clues leading up to like, okay, they're going to have to guess where they're going. And you make each clue a little bit easier as they're going. You start off really broad and then narrow it down. Another great gift is a travel journal. And especially if you have kids, start them with a kid-themed travel journal and write on the dedication or the first page why you're giving it where you're going first. So then they can record those memories. Maybe it's something to do, speaking of recording memories, maybe it's going to be a new camera or, something to do with something that they can record their memories and make memories. Maybe it's I love the new Polaroids that are a flash of the old Polaroids. That's something great. So then they can capture their own memories while they're traveling. Maybe if it's something where you can have an underwater camera or something for an adventure that they can record these moments. Those make like a GoPro. Those make great Christmas gifts too. Another fun thing, this is going to be the last one. It's very simple. The old box in a box in a box. You start off with a really big box, and inside that box is, a smaller box, and you get smaller and smaller and smaller until when they open it up, you have like a ticket to somewhere where you've like handcrafted the ticket. You probably don't want to put real tickets in there. And it's not like you can get real tickets a lot of places anymore. Most things are digital, but you could print it out. So that makes a really fun thing where if you're like, okay, this is the big gift. I don't have a lot of room to buy a lot of other presents besides the trip itself, but you still want them to have something to unwrap under the tree. There you go. The big box where once they get into the smallest one, then that's their trip reveal. Whichever way you decide to surprise your family, it just increases the fun. For me, it's all about making the memories and getting your most out of your trip is when you find a way to, you can also, like I said, give it for Christmas, give it for a birthday. My husband always stresses out because my birthday is so close to Christmas. And I tell him, like, really, what I love more than anything at this point in my life is making memories with my family, with my husband and our two boys. And that's so this year, they already know. I'm not really good at the Christmas trip reveals anymore because I tell them as soon as I book something or as soon as I plan something. They know for Christmas this year that we're going to go on a family cruise in February. And so we're going later. Doesn't mean that your Christmas gift trip reveal has to be for the week of. Doesn't mean you're going to load the car up right after you give them the gift and go. For some of you, you will. But others, it may be weeks or months that you're going, but you're still giving it to them on Christmas. I hope everyone has an amazing week. If you're not already part of our Facebook group, Heather and Logan Tate Whimsical Destinations, please join us. Have an amazing time. Make those memories. Life is short. Take the trip. You won't regret it.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcast, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.